challenges for your guys?
I mean, they're very well coached. Big physical offensive line, some great tailbacks. Obviously the receiver is a big-time player. And then they've got the tight ends are physical. They do a lot of different things with them. And, the quarterback makes plays with his feet. He makes good decisions. You can see his confidence growing as the season goes. And so he adds another dimension to that offense. And he's a pretty special player.
Why is their offense better at home? Looks like.
Great question. I don't know the answer to that. They've got great players all the way around, great coaches. So it's a challenge for us.
Obviously, a point of emphasis for you all year is creating turnovers, and that hadn't happened as much lately.
Right.
Talk about what you've preached to your guys.
Sure. I mean, that's something we talk about every single day. I think every Instagram post or tweet that I send out in the off season or during the season is about that. And so our guys know that that's an important thing. We left 4 on the field last week, and we had 3 right in our hands. We had a caused fumble. So we just got to make sure we have emphasize that throughout the week and all season like we do.
I know a lot of the scheme of the defense is, focusing on the line and leaving the corners kind of out on an island. Does that change at all with Amari Cooper?
Yeah, I mean, he's a dynamic playmaker, and they get him the ball in a bunch of different ways. So, the key, and I think, throughout the season you kind of notice, people when they go against Alabama's offense is making sure that they understand where he is because he's such a pivotal role in that offense.
How much single coverage will you put on him? Will you have help?
Well, we do what we do, and the emphasis all year and all the time is to stop the run. And at times there's going to be kids put in one-on-one situations. There's going to be kids put in one-on-one situations on pass rush, and or an open field tackling, so the kids understand that we move stress around throughout the game, and sometimes you're going to have some stress on you, and the challenge is to make that play when it comes.
What are your impressions of T.J. Yeldon this year?
Well, I mean, he's been impressive, ever since he was in high school. Know him very well, and he's a dynamic playmaker. They get him the ball out of the backfield. He's a big back, but he plays with some speed and some agility. I mean, he's an impressive player.
Last 2 or 3 weeks, you guys have moved Chris outside and moved Nelson back inside. Right. What have you seen over those last couple of weeks?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good change-up, because Chris always played defensive end for us on third down. But then him playing for so normal downs too has been good because he's such a big kid and a big personality too. So just him being able to move around and teams, the last couple of weeks have had some big tight ends, and that remains the same this week. So having a bigger guy on the edge, helps us.
What's it like coaching a kid like Jay Hughes, who's kind of battled some injuries and whatnot? Sure. People really speak highly of it. What's it like coaching a kid like him?
I know you guys have met his dad, and his dad's an unbelievable human being, and I say this all the time. I've spent more time with Tony Hughes the last 4 years than I've spent with my wife. He and I are together 12, 13 hours a day, every day for 4 years. And you can tell why Jay's such a great kid because of his dad and his mom. But Jay's the vocal leader of the team, the emotional leader of the team. He just gave a great speech to the team, out there after practice, just how much this season means to him, how much his teammates mean to him. And I think man for man on this team, they would say the same about him.
What has Lane Kiffin brought to them that makes them different to prepare?
Yeah, I mean, it's he does a great job creating unique formations, and they change every week, trying to create mismatches in space and get his playmakers in different spots, and it changes every single game. So I'd say the way they do things, it's not just cut and dry. This is the formation. This is what you're going to get. They break the huddle. They're moving Amari around, they're moving TJ around, they're moving the tight ends all over the place. So just his creativity, and I think he's one of the best play callers in the game too.
And so much of defense is formation recognition.
Sure.
How do you challenge your guys on the field to recognize and adjust?
Right, and that's the case every single week with every team that we play, is just understanding the different things they can do out of each set, and when they move the chess pieces around and the great players that they have, understanding what each one of those moves means to them and what they can do out of it.